You hear that, Heather B?
Absolutely.
It's a conversation we started the day off with. We were talking about mentorship because my colleague is coming up here today. Heather, I was really excited about this. I had an opportunity to be a part of the Big Brothers, Big Sisters of America initiative called Game Changers.
Right.
And with us right now, we have the CEO of Big Brothers, Big Sisters of America, and he's the first of his hue in over 100 years. He's the first black CEO of Big Brothers, Big Sisters of America in 100 years.
Wow.
The man comes super qualified to be in the position and the role that he's here to play. I want to welcome him to the show, my colleague and now friend. Give it up for Artis Stevens, Citizens. Artis Stevens is here.
Artis.
Yeah. Artis Stevens is here.
Hey, y'all.
History maker.
Thank y'all for having me on.
Where you from, Artis Stevens?
All right, so I'm from Brunswick, Georgia.
Okay.
Yeah, y'all probably like, where is that?
Yeah. I only heard Georgia. I didn't hear that first part.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
Georgia. So I live in Atlanta now, but no, I grew up in a small town. Right? Grew up in a small town, but I always had a village, right? And we know what that's about, right? I had a village around me, a community of people that believed in me. And I always say the same thing, right? What I had in my life growing up was a level of access, right? Access through people, different mentors, and all those folks weren't related to me by blood. It was people who were related to me by spirit, right?
Yeah.
And that's the important thing, even as we think about today and we talk about mentorship, is the connection that we have as human beings in this world and the connection to ensure that more young people, and that's what Big Brothers Big Sisters is about, have the type of opportunities, experience, and access so that we create much more opportunity and access in their lives.
Artis Stevens is here. I like this. Let's talk about it. You know, what in terms of mentorship, what are some statistics you could show? Like, not everybody has access to mentors.
Yeah, and that's one of the biggest challenges, Sway, that when you look in our country right now, 1 in 3 kids don't have a positive, sustained mentor in their lives, right? We look at even Big Brothers, Big Sisters. We got 30,000 kids on our waiting list. 30,000
For mentors.
For mentors, 30,000 kids. Now even parts of that list down. 30,000, most of those kids are boys.
Yeah.
Most of those boys are boys of color, right? Now, what we're looking at and what we've said is the idea of trying to attract mentors is about understanding the power of what mentorship makes in your life. We know that personally. Almost everybody can say, hey, somebody who's made some type of difference and impact in your lives, or that you've done it for someone else. When you look at our mission, here's what we know about mentorship. 91% of our kids have a stronger sense of self-esteem and belonging, right, when they're involved in our programs of mentorship. 92 are on track to graduate. 93% are avoiding some kind of risky behavior in their lives, right? But I also like to tell people this, that 90% of our volunteers, the adults, say that the young person made more impact on their life.
See, that part.
Right? And that's the power of mentorship. It's reciprocal. It's not just the idea. And absolutely, it's about young people, but you're better. You're a better person. You get more out of it as well. So there's an exchange in the power of what young people can do in our lives and in our broader communities as well.
Artis Stevens is here, Big Brothers, Big Sisters of America. I'm going to keep saying this. We're promoting Game Changers. We had a conversation today, and I was speaking about a young lady that I mentored by the name of Jamila Mustafa, who works over at MTV. Some years ago, I was instrumental in getting her the job over there, her along with a guy by the name of Kevin Kinney. And since then, it's been like a mentoree, is that the word? Mentee relationship. And I was telling Tracy today, I've learned so much. The gratification and the appreciation of her, what I'm learning from her, being her mentor, has enhanced me. And I think that's the message that we want to get across to folks who could be potential mentors and don't even realize it. Can you speak more to that? Like, what does it take to be a mentor?
Yeah, we get asked that question a lot. I'll tell you why people choose not to mentor sometimes, right? And you find it across. And this is really important because we started really asking the question and doing a lot of like research on what's the barriers to mentorship. The number one thing that people tell us about is time, right? Okay. That's the obvious thing. So here's the real truth, right? It doesn't take a lot, right? So typically when folks mentor with us, it is about 2 times a month, right? And it's an hour each time that they volunteer. And what typically happens when they start volunteer, they actually want to volunteer more, and the kids like, hey, slow it down, right? But it's not, mentor's not just even that kind of formalized way. It's the sense of Can you have a career experience, right? So what you were just saying, Sway, right? A mentorship moment is, do you enlighten? Do you expose, right? Do you provide access and experience? So we're the largest provider of workplace mentoring in the country right now, meaning workplaces.
Wow.
We bring kids into workplaces
Wow.
and connection and show, hey, how do you set up AV behind a studio, right? Or how do you host a show like this and show them behind the scenes and background? So that's the number one thing. Number two is, and this is particularly true with men, they'll say, I ain't perfect, right? It feels like it's the burden of, I've been through a whole bunch of stuff in my life. Hey, I could have been, incarcerated for something. I could have had a challenge in my life that wasn't right. It could have had some type of emotional trauma on me. And here's the thing about that. You don't have to be perfect. You just got to be present.
You just got to be present.
You just got to be present.
You don't
That's
have
the truth.
Yeah, just being present.
That's the truth, man. Present. And the thing that we try to emphasize is the idea of being presence is also bringing your imperfections, right? Knowing that our authenticity in life is that we're not perfect, that we do have challenge.
Yeah.
And our young people are actually looking for that. They don't want someone who's perfect coming into their life saying, hey, everything went right for me. It's telling your true story, being your true self. So when we look at mentorship, we know those are some of the burdens, but so much of it is things like this where you can educate people to say, this is the true reality of you getting involved. And then here's the true impact when you do, that you make that kind of impact on kids' lives.
Talk about that impact, though.
Yeah, so the impact is both individually, but the impact is also community, right? And here's the thread. And the thread for us is we know that if we can be transformative in kids' lives, then kids are going to be transformative in the communities that they serve. And that's what we're finding out more through our work and our investment, that we're seeing that companies are coming to us because they're saying, wait a minute. We can get our employees much more engaged so our employees feel more purposeful in their jobs. We can create a pipeline because we have a whole bunch of companies who come to us and say, well, we can't find skilled workers, talent workers. Well, then part of the equation to the economy getting better is to find where the talent is. Talent is everywhere in this country. Opportunity is not. So we're being a bridge to say, how do we create bridges and connections so that talent in our communities, and particularly in Black communities and brown communities, have connections where young people can actually start earlier in the process and get access to jobs and trainings and skill set. So it makes our communities better. Is why it's making young people better. Mental health is the other thing. So that's another big area. We have one of the most progressive programs that talk about Black men and Black boys' health and the importance of mentorship and supportive relationships, because we know that that is connected to the opportunity that they have to be sound, to be framed. And Black boys are one of the last populations to raise their hand when there's a mental health situation that's going on in their lives. So it perpetuates, right? But what if we could intervene earlier, right? And that's the programming that we're doing right now to try to intervene earlier with the types of relationships so that they identify, and then we can help address it, not as mental health experts, but to bring the right community within.
Artis Stevens is here, man. Listen, we're going to be talking about this because I've joined Heather and Tracy.
Yes.
I'm a member of Big Brothers, Big Sisters of America.
I love it for you.
I'm
Congrats.
official.
Yes,
And I'm officially what they deem a game changer.
That's right.
A game changer. This game changer initiative has a slew of some really amazing people that's a part of it. I'm just one part of it, but there's friends of mine, Nate Burleson. Give that man a round of applause.
Nate,
He's a game changer.
Wife, Toya, hey, what's up, y'all?
Okay, Kelvin Beecham, give him a round of applause.
Yes.
He's a game changer. Tony Coles, give him a round of applause. Game changer. I want to say Wayne Brady. Is Wayne Brady? Wayne Brady. That's my guy, Wayne Brady.
WB.
Wayne Brady. He's a game changer.
Right.
Name some of the other game changers, and what are the roles what are some of the things we're gonna be seeing?
Damon John.
Damon John, my
what's up?
brother.
Wow. Another citizen.
Yeah, another. We have, and here's the beauty of what we're doing. Is we're broadening this across pretty much every industry, right, that you can think of. Media, sports, right, business, education. One of the ones I'm also proud of is Macaulay Abdullah, Dr. Macaulay Abdullah, who's the president of Virginia State University, one of our HBCUs, right? It is being able to sort of establish because we know when kids see it, they can be it, right? And that's the whole point about these game changers is showing it. and showing folks like you, Sway. And I know you just said yourself a little bit, but I got to give you props, brother, because, you were one of the first people that we thought about when we thought about this initiative because, one, the way you communicate, the way you talk about mentorship, the way you live your life and the values, but also your intentionality, right? And that was important for us to have people who were really authentic and walking the walk. Right?
Tracy's laughing because she knows a little bit about my life that's not on the surface. But go ahead.
I'm laughing because I know it's difficult for you to receive these beautiful words too as truth.
Yeah, that's true.
It's real, and it's real. But that's what we should be. We should be giving flowers, right? And it's also about the idea of showing. So, like, think about this. All across this country, we got billboards up with these faces. So
wait, hold up. Say that again. Say that again, because last year I got a mural with my face in Oakland. Go ahead. This is the part, Artis. Sell it, baby. Sell it.
So we have this campaign that we started, this Billboard campaign that have these game changers. So all the names that Sway just mentioned and himself and Sway, we got you up. People are passing your billboard, right? We've gotten a whole bunch of texts and notes on it. By the way. Yeah. People are like, wow, like how'd you guys pull this off? How you did this? We got to make sure we get a photo of you.
We're gonna go do that. We're gonna do that. Yeah. Where is the billboard located?
Yeah, so we got it all across the country. So they're in New York. I think we're trying to work. I can't guarantee this way. I think we're trying to work on one in Oakland for you.
You gotta do Oakland.
We're trying.
If you do, let me know the location. I can tell you the best places to put it.
Okay.
All right.
Wow. How much is your ego involved in this mentorship?
Yeah.
I want people to see it, though. Yeah.
I will tell you this, though. To the point you just said, you want people to see it, right? Yeah. But here's why it's so important that people see it. It's important that people see it because the only way that we create much more access for people, men in particular, with this particular campaign to get involved is they have to see others, right?
Course.
And we got to elevate it, right? So that others see it and they understand the things that I just said, that it doesn't take too much, right? It takes little to be big, right? In a young person's life. That's part of our campaign.
Takes little to be big.
On that work. And then the other thing is, in some of the texts that we receive, some of the notes that we receive has been from families, has been from some of our littles, right? Who's saying, oh, I didn't know Sway was part of Big Brothers Big Sisters, right? I didn't know Damon John was part of Big Brothers Big Sisters. Back to this concept, if you can see it, you can be it, right? So the more that they have knowledge, understanding about people like you, and that you're part of a journey like this, and they know more about your story, that's how we create the connection for young people in our communities who feel like sometimes that they can't achieve or the odds are against them, right? There's always going to be odds against us, right? What helps us is when we have community and partners and people and mentors who are in our corner to help change those odds.
Artis Stevens, man, this is the CEO of Big Brothers Big Sisters of America. Look for the billboards. There's everywhere. If you want to go on the platforms to find out more, where can they go?
Yeah, so if you want to find out more, all you have to go is go to bbignow.org. Again, that's bbignow.org. Again, part of our campaign, and it's really simple too. You can put in your zip code and you can find the local Big Brothers Big Sisters that's near you. If you want to give or support and make a donation, because what we do is we have staff that's on the ground and make these in technology that make these matches work. So investment is also important. So if you want to give, you can give at the same website. And here's the last thing I'll say. Yes, Big Brothers Big Sisters is doing a lot of work, and we're proud of the work that we're doing, and we're the leading organization in it. But what I always say to people, whether it's with us or anyone else, whether it's in your church, whether it's in the juvenile justice system, whether it's in the community, mentor, whether it's in your family or extended family, the power of mentorship is the most important thing. So whether you go on our website or whether you go on someone else's website, do it, commit to a child's life because it's going to make a difference in their lives and your own.
BBig.org.
Be Big Now.
BBigNow.org. Have the B.
Artis, thank you so much for joining us. I have a question. I've always been curious how Big Brother, Big Sister program works. I remember being a kid and like seeing commercials and different things like that. But present day, if I were to hear about this program and I find out like someone like Sway, I'm a kid, I'm into hip hop, someone like Sway is a Big Brother. How do I get to a Sway? Like, do you pair people with the similar? How does it work? Like, how do I end up with a mentor that can kind of help me what I'm interested in?
Yeah, that's a really great question. So essentially, when you come into one of our local organizations, they find out all about you as a young person and your family. We do the same thing for the volunteer, and we go through a process of matching the young person and the volunteer. We call it a match, right? And then when you get matched, we have paid staff who helps to navigate that, right? So that the young person, the volunteer, everybody feels safe, everybody feels empowered, right? They go through the process. And then it's always driven by youth voice and youth empowerment. So in our program, young people are at the center, right? So it's not about, hey, here's what you're going to do, young person. It's about, what do you need? What's your interest? What are the opportunities? And it's about then designing to help you grow. But, you know, what's most important is that there's no one-cut way that we do it. What we say, if a young person is looking for a career opportunity, we're going to help you find it. If you're looking just for a friend, right, and have a partner and a friend, we're going to help you find it, right? If it's part of, man, I'm having challenge with my mental health, well, we're going to come in, we're going to help you find it. And that's where I feel like, in terms of being a solution today, is that we don't have to solve all the things, right? We just got to be a conduit that we can help bring the type of supports and resources around young people's lives. And that's what we try to commit and do.
Artis Stevens, I'm going to keep saying his name, CEO of Big Brothers, Big Sisters of America, Tracy G.
Yes, this is such an empowering conversation, Artis. I'm really, really grateful you're on the show. Over the years, we've seen a lot of celebrities reject the title role model, right? They'll say it straight up. I ain't trying to be nobody's role model. Make sure anything that affects these children, speak to the parents first. Speak to the parents first. Speak to the parents first. One, do you feel like we should abolish the title role model? Like, how necessary is it in our modern day society? And we are all learning from entertainers to some degree, mainly on a subconscious level. What can we do what would you tell a child so that they can begin to kind of moderate how much they're impacted, influenced by celebrity culture? Because they may have a mentor that they see, but if they spend triple their time on social media, that might erase what they've learned. Does that make sense with their mentor?
Does. Yeah, no. So to the first part of your question, what we try to, and this is on a lot of times the conversations with young people that we have, what we talk about a lot is not framing and not being boxed in by titles, right? Or even framings of words, right? Like what you just said about role model. What we talk about is action, right? The idea of action is what's most important in the work that we do. And what I would say to the concept of role model, typically the most powerful role models of your life is going to be the people that's most closest to you, right? Who is in your circle, so part of our job is to get more people around the circle, that inner circle of young people, so they have access to that, because that ultimately is what makes the difference in your life. Yet we can't ignore that there's a broader cultural influence, right? Into what our young people see, what they get influenced by, the connectivity that they have, right, in their lives. So there's two parts of that for me. I think one, in terms of a responsibility that we all have, being a role model doesn't mean that you got to act in a certain way every single day, right? What it means is, for me, is the idea of what can you give back, right? That's meaningful and thoughtful. Right, so it's not saying you got to act a certain way. Like I think it was one of the, some celebrities say, I'm not a role model. It is, how do you think about what's been given to you, and then the responsibility that we all have to give back, right? And to give back to our communities and help to lift up our communities, because you didn't get here alone, right? None of us to do. And when you remember that, it helps. That, to me, when we talk about being a role model, is your responsibility and purpose to give back to what helped you and then the community. And then the last thing I will say is just, in terms of young people and seeing things like social media, one of the key parts of having an inner circle is navigation. Social media is not going away, right? And it's going to continue. I got two daughters, right? 16 and 14, right? And they love ages. Yeah, and they love themselves some social media, right? But part of the responsibility is not to say, hey, don't use social media. It's say, here's how you use it and navigate it the right way. Here's how you harness it to do positive things as well. And here's how you even decipher when you see things, right, that you question, so that information just doesn't come. And you got a young mind just saying, hey, here's what it is. But it's having people that you can talk to about it that helps you to be the sounding board, the conversation, the discussion. I feel like that's the way we need to think and talk about within our communities. But it also takes bringing our communities around young people who don't always have that, right? I was blessed and fortunate to have it. Unfortunately, there's a lot of kids that don't have that. Right. So then we try to say, and we put kids in a box, or we say they're this and we say they're that. No, they're not any of that stuff. They got power, they got potential. They just got to have the opportunity to harness the right way, which is why organizations and missions like this are so important.
My man, I love it, man.
Yes,
I love it.
Thank you.
Look for our billboards. Game changers, billboards all over the country have to be.
I'm driving
They're
down
gonna
a
be
different block. I didn't see
different
it.
highways. I got tagged on my Instagram by a lot of drivers who
I
are
didn't
seeing
see
this
it.
big ass billboard. It don't even look real. Hey,
didn't
you
see
gotta
it.
see it. Yo, Artis, where can she see it? She's in Jersey.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We're going to send you something. So,
No,
so
don't
you
send
can-
it to out. Do I
Yeah.
need to see a lifestyle picture of Sway?
It's huge, Heather.
Oh, gosh,
it's like
Artis.
a real highway billboard.
Oh, gosh. Stab
It's
me.
huge.
Yeah.
And I'm proud to be a part of Game Changers.
Amen.
I'm going to tell you something, man. And I'm proud of you. You come a long way to get to this point.
I appreciate it.
First black CEO in over 100 years. You're breaking down doors. You're making strides. And people are going to aspire to be the same way you are. The courageousness, I read your history, all the work it took for you to get into this position. Well deserved. And I think the organization is in great hands. Whatever we can do, we are here for it.
Amen.
All right?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, my man.
Thank
Artis
you.
Stevens, man.
Appreciate
Get that
it,
man
my
around.
friend.
Give out the information.
Excellent.
Citizens, hit this site up.
BBigNow.org. Check it out. Come and learn more about our work and our mission. And I just want to say as we close too,
Yes.
thank you all. Thank you all for continuing to raise this profile, this platform, this conversation around mentorship, this conversation about how we give back, right, and be our authentic selves to help improve our community. So I'm thankful to you all.
All right.
thank
Thank you,
you.
Artis Stevens. You do an excellent job. Come back anytime. This might
Yes.
have to be a monthly thing. Who are our people? These are our team right here. Is this team?
This is my team, Devon and Paige.
Get them on camera. Get them on camera. They deserve. They working hard. There you
Yeah.
go. Devon
Yes.
and Paige.
Yeah, Paige.
Pay.
Yeah,
PEI.
PEI.
Pay. Good to meet you. All right. You see them right there. Okay. Give them a big round of applause as well.